Hi everybody, my name's Bob Saunders, and a while ago I put two videos online concerning astral projection, and I said I wouldn't make any more about astral projection. But there's been some recent events that happened, and that's changed things, and I need to speak to you once again, unfortunately, about astral projection. Now, for those who don't know who I am, let me quickly say that I'm a medium and I work with a group of spiritual beings that call themselves the Great White Brotherhood. I've been doing it for over 40 years now, and up until the middle of 2012 I never bothered to make any videos. I just used to sit like most people do and click on the internet and watch the things that interested me. But around about the middle of 2012, my guides asked me if I would start making videos about various spiritual topics, which I've done, and I think I've got something like 52 or 53 videos online now. Anyway, now amongst them, let me start with the astral projection stuff. When I first started to make videos, I noticed, to my surprise, that I was inundated with people that asked me about astral projection. Well, now, although I've been doing astral projection for half my life, I have been trained to do it, and when I do go into the etheric world, it's with guides and I do it safely and so on. And I was utterly amazed that there's countless thousands, maybe 1 million or more people around the world that are desperately trying to do astral projection. And I thought, why? Because if you go into the astral world, and I will also say that very few people actually do, even those who claim to be experts, not many actually do it. If you go into the etheric world, there's not much to see. All it is a copy of this world, but a bit darker and greyer. And there's nothing exciting, and it's just like a copy of what we see around us. But what there are in there are some horrible thought forms and things like that, and also people that have died that were criminals in one way or another, often rather nasty people, and they don't want to go on to heaven and face having to go to hell, so they hang about in the etheric world, and from there they try to grab hold of people and influence them to do evil as a means of diversion for themselves, as a means of their entertainment. So there's not much to be gained from going into the etheric world, but there is a lot to be lost. And so I started to put I put two videos online explaining that it wasn't a very good idea. And that created another mayhem of emails coming at me of three types. One, people that said, despite the fact that I warned them it wasn't a good idea, would I please teach them to do it? And I say, no, I won't. It's too dangerous. Second, the people that have done astral projection got themselves possessed by a dodgy spirit and asked me to get rid of it for them, which I do. And third, this group of people who, often using very, very violent and rude language, say to me that it's a wonderful experience and everybody should do it, it's completely natural and we can learn a lot from it. And I thought to myself, what's going on here? There's something not right. Of all the spiritual topics that people could talk about, astral projection is the only thing that seems to be interesting the majority of people. And I thought there's something wrong here. But I couldn't get to the bottom of it. So, as I say, I made those two videos, and I did say that I wouldn't talk about the subject anymore, but I get so many emails from people saying, please help me, please, that I still do reply, much against my better judgment. Anyway, this is the point that I'm coming to, and this is important. So if you will, please listen to this and take note, because this is going to affect you very, very much if you try and do astral projection now. So I'll start. Right, I'm not quite sure when it started, but I've recently found out that all this business with astral projection was thought of by a group of Satanist people who made videos on YouTube. They put comments and things in all these Facebook type things, you know, saying, yeah, everybody should try and do astral projection because it's a great thing, and and some of these are the people that attack me when I say that it's dangerous, and they try and badmouth me, and so you've got this Satanist group. Now, they're actively working, putting stuff on YouTube and so on. They also work with a group of what you might call black magicians who are putting out into the etheric world the idea that people should do astral projection. And when people start to think about it, then they get influenced by this thought that it's a good idea, and that pushes them more and more and more to do astral projection. Now, have you understood that there's this satanic group working with black magicians that are pushing you to do astral projection? Okay? And I thought to myself, okay, but why? There must be a reason for it. Well, I've just found out the reason, and I'm going to explain it to you, and please listen because this is important. September the 23rd, 2015, you may have heard of an organisation, a thing called CERN, C-E-R-N. It's also called the Hadron Collider, or the Hadron Collider, something like that. It's on the Italian-Swiss border, Swiss-French border, I believe. Monstrous great thing where they spin particles about and bombard them at high speed. Now, on September the 23rd, they've managed, even though they couldn't get their machine up to full power, because some of us knew that they were working, doing evil things, and so through prayer and so on, we were able to reduce the power of their machine. But nevertheless, they were able to pierce a small hole in the veil between our world and the lower fourth dimension. The lower fourth dimension is where demons live, and they've managed to pierce a small hole into that as of September the 23rd, 2015. Now, excuse me, that means that from that date on, some demons have been able to come through into the etheric realm, and they will continue to come through into the etheric realm. Now, these demons can't directly interfere with us, because we're in our 3D world, closed in our 3D world, the world that we see around us. But they sit in wait in the etheric world, and people that are being pushed by these satanic people to try and do astral projection and go into the etheric realm, they can then be grabbed hold of by these demonic creatures, and then when the person comes back to here, this realm that we live in, the 3D realm, they can then these demons can then influence that person to do terrible things. Now, have you understood that? There is in the etheric realm at the moment, and it will go on, demonic creatures that have come from the lower fourth dimension that are waiting for people that are unwise enough to go into the etheric realm, to grab hold of them and bring them back into our reality in order to create mayhem and havoc. If you go into that realm, the etheric realm, and are grabbed hold of by one of these high-powered demonic beings, it will totally destroy your life, the life of your family, and the life of all those that you know, that you come into contact with. This is very, very serious. I know it sounds like science fiction, but I can assure you it's real. And I strongly advise you to stop this concept of doing astral projection. You're being pushed by Satanists to do it, and by black magicians, with the idea of getting possessed by these demonic creatures. The whole thing has been planned for a number of years to entrap you in order to destroy life here. When I say life, I'm not talking about in a physical sense, but in a mental, moral sense. That's what I'm talking about. These now, with the minor problems that people had before the end of September, I had a couple of techniques that helped people get rid of these minor creatures that were bugging them. But with these high-powered demonic creatures, I've got nothing. I've got no means of helping you if you get grabbed by one of these. These beings are far, far too powerful for people like me, and I don't honestly think that my guides can suggest anything. They are very, very powerful negative beings. Okay? Now, that's what I wanted to say. I've no doubt there are people who think I'm crazy. That's fine. You believe what you want. I've no doubt there's people that are working in cahoots with the Satanist group that will badmouth me. That's okay. I'm not bothered about that. What I am concerned about is that you don't become a victim of this latest trend, this latest catastrophe that they're planning for us. Okay? Thank you for listening to me, and I do hope I've helped at least some of you. Okay, bye.